Om Shanti. A very warm welcome and good evening to all. I'm Dimple, honored to be the host for today. So we bring again another sustenance program for you all with a very interesting topic this time, emotional detachment. I'm sure you all want to know more about this topic. So before I begin, I would like to make a couple of announcements. We have for you translations available in 3 languages. You can click on the link, translation link below. We have translation in Mandarin, Tamil, and Hindi. And don't forget, at the end of this session, we actually have a question and answer Q&A session. So please feel free to drop in your question in the chat box below. We are also live on Facebook. So if you have not connected here, you can also leave your questions in Facebook. And so to introduce the topic for today, emotional detachment. So it's a very interesting topic, and it was a privilege for me to get to know Sister Aruna yesterday when I met her for the first time. It was really enlightening and a very humble experience, I must say. So she actually asked me to share a little bit about myself before I actually introduce her. And so with her permission and with good wishes from all, I'd like to just share a couple of minutes about myself. So about me, I'm a single mother, mother of a young teenager, 19, going to be 20 in a couple of days actually. And professionally, I'm a teacher. I have been practicing Raja Yoga meditation since December 2015, was blessed to be able to go to Madhuban in 2017. So just to share a very short recent experience which I had with my son. And, my son is not really a very, he doesn't do extremely well, good enough in his exams. So the last term, he actually got a perfect score for CGPA. And, so it was really exciting. He was very excited as well. And to appreciate his effort and to encourage him further, what I did was, it's but natural. You let your family members know so that he gets a lot of encouragement. So I put it on my family WhatsApp group. And I also informed his father's side of the family. And so obviously they actually praised him a lot. And along with praises for him, they actually also praised me. And I was wondering, because gracefully I told them, actually, I didn't do anything. Actually, I did nothing. In fact, the past, ever since he became 18, I decided that, he's grown up. Let him make his own decisions. Because the thing is, often our parents tell us a lot of things, and you always find a way to do things your own way, no matter what your parents tell you. So he always used to use the word and say, "Mom, stop nagging me." So I told him, it's okay, I'm not going to nag you. And in fact, in the past 1 year, I did not tell him anything much. There were times when I would get up and greet him good morning, and he would actually reply good night. So not that it actually bothered me or anything. So because of this Raja Yoga meditation, it really teaches you to stay detached, be a trustee, just accept everything that comes along the way with a smile. So hence, I see that this is a perfect experience to share for our topic today. So how did it end? Actually, last night I asked him permission. I told him, can I say this? Because, he's a teenager and he's around. And if I talk about him without his permission, it's not really, I find it's not really very nice. So I asked him, can I say this for my show tomorrow? I just wanted to share some experience. And he just told me, "Ma, you can share anything you wish." And he said he doesn't mind. And the best part, at the end, he told me, "Ma, do you know what happened when you stopped nagging me?" And I said, "What happened?" He said, "I started nagging myself." So with that, both of us had a very good laugh and we called it a night. And so that's about my experience in short. So about the speaker, Sister Aruna Ladva. Now she's a very, very young and energetic sister. Yesterday when I got to know her, it was such a nice experience. So with her spiritual truth, her encounter with the spiritual truth and experience of meditation was right from childhood at a very young age, and her deep personal experiences led her to realize her purpose by the time she was only 14 years of age. And for over 37 years now, Aruna has been practicing meditation and has become an accomplished spiritual author. She's written many books, and some of the titles really inspiring. I call it the It's Time series. It's time for relationships, it's time for change, it's time for self-empowerment, it's time to be cool, and so many more. Actually, Aruna Ladwa is a writer and author, and it's really it's very fortunate for us to have an experience from her. And the best thing is that she has experience with both the cultures, East and West. Currently, she's the director of the Harmony House Meditation Center in Kuwait and is working on her new book, actually. So the list of Aruna's achievement is endless, and she just wanted me to keep it short and simple. So I'll pass it to her without any further delay. Over to you, Sister Aruna. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you to the Malaysian family. Thank you to the youth group. Thank you to Miraben for this invitation. I'm really happy to Zoom across to Asia and be with all of you today. So maybe let's just have a moment, just 30 seconds. And in this 30 seconds of stillness and quiet, I'd like you to just think of perhaps a last experience where you might have lost your cool. I know this is not something we do in meditation often, but just take a moment to reflect on your last experience where you got a bit agitated, frustrated. Okay, let's just think about that. Okay. So for some of you, perhaps that was a few minutes ago. And perhaps for some of you, it was a few years ago. So what's the difference? So I'll start off with a story. And the story is that there was a king who felt that he has, a lot of wealth, a lot of everything, and he would like to donate that. And so he took a bag of his gold coins and he thought, okay, let me go about, find somebody who could be worthy of these gold coins. So he got on his horse, he had some people with him, his escort, and then he found somebody. It was a very poor looking man. Of course, he was a sage, but to the king, he felt like he's a beggar. So he thought, okay, let me give him my bag of gold coins. So as he got off his horse and he walked towards this man, he looked at him and he said, I would like to give you this. And the sage said, really? And the king said, yes. And then the sage, as soon as he got the bag, he started running. He started running, and then the king said, follow him, find him, catch him. And then the men of the king ran after him, the king ran after him. But of course, the man knew the neighborhood, and so he was able to outrun the king and his army. After a few hours, the king thought, where can I find him again? And he said, let's go back to the same spot where we were. And as he was there, as the king arrived there, he saw the bag of gold coins exactly in the spot where the sage was sitting. And then the voice from the side comes, well, did you really give that up? Yeah, did you really give that up? So I'm starting with this because how many times do we start off with good intention, but it doesn't always happen the way we want? The outcome is never what we anticipated. And because of that, how many times do we lose our peace? How many times do we lose our happiness? So this is the point, that when I set an intention, when I plant the seed of good deed, then I actually have to let go of it. What actually happens is we plant, but we're still overlooking, like when you look over a pot that is cooking, they say that a watched pot doesn't cook faster. So this is what we do. We plant the seeds of good deeds, but then we're waiting to see, okay, what's the result? What's the outcome? And because of that, we get disappointed. And because we get disappointed, we get mad, we get into all other feelings. And this is what we call the roller coaster of emotions. So what I'd like to do is talk about emotion, then I'll talk about detachment, and then we'll talk about the two together. So let's talk about emotion, right? As I told you in that little few seconds reflection, if you go back to one of your last experiences where you might have lost your cool, then I think 99% you lost your cool because you were wanting something and it didn't happen the way you wanted it. Right? You can tell us in the chat if I'm wrong. But 99, 98, 99% of the time we get disappointed because we don't accept the moment. We don't accept what's happening in front of us. And we want a different reality. So what is anger actually? Anger is a secondary emotion. Anger is not the first emotion. So when you get angry about somebody not doing, what you ask them to do, you're actually not angry that they didn't do it, but you're angry that they didn't respect you. You're angry that they didn't obey you. You're angry that they didn't, take you seriously. So that's where the anger is secondary. Primary emotion is we are feeling something inside. And so emotion, we say, is energy in motion, right? So I always say that emotion is different from feeling. We are actually meant to be in a feeling state, not an emotion state. Because emotion in itself implies up and down. Right? Energy in motion, 1 minute here, 1 minute there, like this. But feeling is like a calm lake. So emotions we define as anger, as disappointment, as frustration, even guilt, right? But feeling is more like the love, is the peace. It's this feeling of when you're being generous, benevolent, kind. And these feelings, you just need one feeling and that's enough, right? When you just say, here's my love, I don't want anything, here's my love to you, that's it. But when we say I'm angry, it's never just one emotion. I'm angry and I'm mad and I'm frustrated and everything. We say that, one, it gives birth not just to one, but to a progeny. One vice gives birth to many vices. So we want to shift from being emotional to being more in feeling state. And the feeling state in the soul is that I am love, I am peace, I am truthful, and I am pure. This is my natural state because this is the state that we are drawn to naturally. If there's peacelessness, we are drawn to peace, right? If somebody's telling a lie, we are drawn to the truth. If we are unhappy, let's say sorrowful, we are drawn to happiness. So these are our natural states. That's why we are drawn to them naturally. If you've been dishonest for 1 month, if you've been lying to your friends, to your boss, to your mother, you say, it's about time I was honest. So there's a barometer inside that tells us that I should be feeling this more than this. Sometimes we ignore that voice and we listen to the negative, but then we feel so bad afterwards. So yeah, we want to be experiencing the natural qualities of the soul, okay? Let me just give you an example of the different emotions, okay? So let's say, for example, you're going to work, and I'm sure going to work is the same in every country. There's peak hour traffic, and everybody's obviously running late and trying to get to work on time. Okay, so let's say you're driving to work, and on the way, there's a lot of traffic, you're being delayed, and somebody cuts in. So what happens to you? You get mad. Can you see that? Or shall I, no, shall I do can you read it as mad, or shall I change the reflection? Okay, fine. All right, so you get mad, okay? All right, you get mad. Then you carry on, you get to work, let's say, for example, you get to the parking lot. Now somebody hasn't parked properly, so you're trying to squeeze the car in without damaging another car. You're getting late, you want to get into work, and now what happens? You get frustrated, right? And then you're going into work and the receptionist says, "Good morning." And you ignore her. And in your mind, you say, what has she got to be happy about? Right? So now you're jealous because of her happiness. And you just walk away. All right. Then you get into the lift. You get into the lift and there's so many people. And so, of course, they're pressing all the buttons. And so you have to stop at every, floor before you get to your floor. And what happens? You're impatient. You're saying, hurry up, quickly, get out, come on. Okay, you arrive at your desk. Now you arrive at your desk and you're already feeling tired. But not only tired, but you think, why am I here? Why am I doing this job? And now you're feeling, we say, apathetic or aimless or purposeless. So now you're at your desk. Finally, you got to work. You're at your desk and you're feeling, why am I here? What am I here to do? Oh, and in the meantime, now I feel guilty because I didn't say hello to the receptionist. And then I notice there's my friends there, all having coffee and chatting, and I'm being left out. Now we could continue this, right, for the rest of the day, can't we? Feeling this and feeling that and feeling sorry for myself. We could continue this for the rest of the day. But does it help? This is what I mean about roller coaster of emotions. If it's not one thing, it's something else. So how to tame this? Okay, we'll come to that. Okay, then I want to, I will just share the screen. I just have a few slides, but just to help explain, just one moment. So I want to talk about just one moment. Okay. So, yeah, this is the thing. Expectations, right, are a big killer. What do we do all day, every day? What do we say? It's you. You're supposed to make me happy. And this is the contract that we think that we have made with people. That you are there to make me happy and I'm there to make you happy. And if we don't make each other happy, then we can divorce or we can part our ways. But that's not how life was meant to be lived, to point the finger at the other person. What about if I just give without wanting something back? And why is it that I can't give? There's only one reason why I can't give, and that's because I don't have. So why is it that I cannot give love? Because I don't have love. Why is it that I can't give kindness? Because I don't have kindness. Because if you had it, you would surely give it. Right? If somebody comes to you and says, I want a pound of apples, and you'd say, well, I don't have them. So how different is that to, can you give me some attention? Can you give me some love? So if I can't give it, that means I don't have it. Okay, so first rule of emotional detachment is really to not set myself up for expectations. So at every moment, we have a choice, right? We all have a choice, but we don't all exercise that choice. So choice brings responsibility. So if you look at this bus, this man could easily sit on the other side and have a lovely view. But what's the choice he made? He made a choice to sit on the other side, and then he complains that there is no view, there's no fun. So choice is very important in terms of managing our emotions. You can decide which emotion to feel at any given time. Just like this, just with a click, you can decide. Right? So right now I'm gonna snap, and I want you all to feel your inner peace. Yeah, I bet you got a touching about your inner peace. What does it feel like? How am I when I'm really cool and calm? Feel happy. What's stopping you being happy? Yeah. So they say that between every stimulus and a response, there is a space. Between every stimulus and how we respond, there is a space in which to choose. So between something happening, like the traffic, like the parking, like the lift, and how we respond or react, that's really our choice. Right, here we are. So the plane gets delayed, and what's our response? Respond actually means to think about it. When we say respond, we actually mean re-ponder. Ponder means to think. So we are rethinking it. And react means I'm reenacting it. So in other words, I got disappointed last time and I'm getting disappointed again. It's like we react because we think we already know what's going to happen, but we don't. Say, for example, somebody's late at a meeting, then they're late again. Then the third time, first couple of times, okay, you forgave. But then the second or third time, you will react because you think you know what's going to happen. But always we have to try to respond. In managing our emotions, we have to have inquiry and not judgment. We can't assume that we know why they are late. Maybe they are late, but now maybe they have a good reason to be late. That's why we have to be forgiving. But if I jump and react, then what happens? I spoil the relationship. Then it's more difficult to resolve that relationship. So we've got to try and respond. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit now about what is attachment, what is detachment, what is non-attachment. So let us say that instead of talking, let us say that, sometimes people find it very confusing. Should we be detached? And if we detach, then isn't it all these things? Isn't detachment like we don't care, we are cold, we are distant, we are aloof, we are escaping from something, we are trying to separate ourselves from that? This is normally what people say with detachment, and they find it very difficult to accept detachment. They think that we are not loving, they think we are not being kind. So how about trying to see detachment as non-attachment? Okay, and there is a difference. So maybe in detachment, let me give you an example. So in detachment, let's say, for example, okay, you have a party, you organize a party, but you don't invite me. And I don't care. Okay, which means that I'm detached means I don't care. I'm attached means I will get upset. But when I'm detached, I don't care that you invited me or not. It doesn't really mess up my feelings. It doesn't get me upset. Now, as I said, that's detachment, attachment. Now we come to non-attachment. Non-attachment is I'm engaged in action, but without attachment to any outcome. No expectations. So, this Vietnamese monk, what is it? Nick Tat Han. I hope I've got it right. And so he talks about washing the dishes. And he's saying, are we washing the dishes to finish washing the dishes, or are we washing the dishes to clean the dishes? In other words, am I washing the dishes because I enjoy doing the deed, like putting my hands in the water, enjoying the moment, being present? Or am I just getting them clean and I want to finish the job? So I wash the dishes and let's get them clean and that's it. Then I can move on to more important things or more fun things. And I agree with him, because when we are so in the mode of let's finish this, when we are like goal oriented, then we're missing the moment and we're missing the present journey. So non-attachment is I'm engaged, but I'm not attached to the outcome. I'm fully present, right? I'm fully present, but I'm seeking nothing. How many times can we do a deed, whatever it is, I'm doing it, but I don't want something back. And really, you feel so good when you do something without wanting something back, because you know that it's such a pure deed, and then you don't have to worry about any repercussion of that deed, because you just did your best and you gave your best and you gave what you could, and that's it. It stops there. Okay, I'll just finish these points. So wholeness, connected with everything, right? As opposed to separation here. When I'm detached, it might seem like I, as I said, don't care, so I don't feel part of. But in non-attachment, I am connected with everything. And that nobody feels any missingness, but there's not that residue left over afterwards of any outcome. And there's a brother, actually, Brian Thompson, who talks about Zen, and he gave a nice example. And he said that non-attachment, you can say, is like a Teflon pan, where you're still cooking, you're still putting the pan on the fire, but everything comes off. It doesn't stick to the pan. This is non-attachment, where nothing sticks to me afterwards. I engage, I enjoy, but then not attached to the outcome. And that's why my happiness is intact. So this is what I came up with today, and this is what makes sense to me today. Maybe it will change tomorrow. But let's say on a scale of 0 to 100, both ways, this is being loving and this is being attached or detached. So we're a lot attached or not detached. I mean, either a lot attached or detached. So on this scale, if, let's take the first box, attached. So on this scale, I'm a little loving and I'm a little attached. That makes sense, right? But when I'm detached, then I'm detached, but very little loving. You got it? This box on the top left, well, it could be either way. I'm attached or detached, but not enough love. But let's say for now, for understanding, this is detached. Okay, let's move to the bottom right, bottom right, non-attached. So this is where I am very loving, but not so attached. Got it? I'm very loving, and loving means what? Not just to the person, but to everything. I'm doing everything with love. I am love. I'm adding my fragrance of love to everything that I do. Okay. But I think the best place we want to be is here, the top right, where I am loving, but I am detached. And this is what we call a spiritual or emotional detachment. And this space is known as the space where I have mastered, or I have understood, let's say, what is the drama of life. Okay, let me give you an example of that. So let me give you an example of that. So an example of life would be, we all know that we come into this life and we have to leave this life. We all know that we have to leave our body. We cannot stay here forever, right? This is just basic understanding, whether it's the Brahma Kumari's philosophy or Christian philosophy or Islamic philosophy. We came and we have to leave. Okay. So why is it that then I sit to cry? Because I haven't understood that this person, this soul has to leave, and that their part is finishing or it's finished. They're moving on, whatever moving on to, we don't know, but at least they have to move on. See, when I've understood that, then I'm able to detach more easily. The reason why I cannot detach is because of my own wants and needs. I want to hold on to that person because of what this person does for me, to me, what they make me feel like. And this is how we hold on to people. But in Raja Yoga meditation teaches us that we love, we appreciate, we respect, but then we understand that everything comes to an end. And we don't hold on to anything, because if you hold on to something, then you don't have space to experience something else. So you have to let go to then get something else. If I hold on to just that one thing, I'm missing out on all the other things, all the other experiences. So in terms of mastering the self, emotional detachment is understanding, firstly, that I'm a soul and that I am eternal. This piece of truth gave me a lot of, let's say, inner peace, that I, the soul, will never die. No fire can burn the soul, no sword can cut the soul, and no water can drown the soul. This gave me a lot of inner peace. And then we come to my interaction with the world outside. I'm just playing a part, but then so is somebody else out there. They're also playing their part. This is something we forget, that they are also playing the part that they know how to play. But what do? We try to fix everybody else's part and not fix our part. This is also why we get disappointed. So let me turn the mirror, let me turn the mirror onto myself. And the mirror is showing me, oh, Aruna, okay, this is what you have to change. Then I can see how I am responding to the situation. Because the situation is just the situation. Now, let's take that scenario that I mentioned to you before. Traffic is just the traffic. As I said, there's traffic everywhere, and there will be traffic every day, and there will be traffic for the next 10 years. Am I going to get upset with it every time? Okay, then parking spot. Okay, let me park it a little further where there is more space. And let me have a little walk just to have my peace of mind. Right? So you can find a solution to that. The problem is we want this and we want that. We want to be close and we want to get frustrated with parking. Okay, then getting in the lift. Okay, either I can take the stairs or either I accept the situation. Just accept. Acceptance is also emotional detachment. The thing is that at every step, I'm choosing, right? This is Raj Yoga meditation. I'm choosing what experience I want to have at every moment. And that I'm mastering. And just see that really everything that comes to you is like a test paper, is like an exam. And you have to ask yourself, am I passing? Am I passing? Am I passing? Am I passing this? I know sometimes it might feel like tension and stress, but sometimes it's really good because you're challenging yourself. So really, anybody that comes, any situation that comes, just take a moment, take a deep breath, just step back in your mind, just say, aha, okay, I got it. I know what's happening. This has come to test me. And you know what? I'm going to pass with 100%. I'm not going to let this silly little thing affect my big stage, my state of mind. And think about how much time we spend, especially those who meditate, how much time we spend in building the stage, building that state of mind. And then just one little thing, and we pop. We get mad, we get angry, we get upset so easily, so easy to take sorrow from everything. But that's where I need to have my shield. I see, but I don't see. I hear, but I don't hear. Okay, one of the last things I want to talk about now is real sense of self-respect. Because if you really had a strong sense of self-respect, would you not value yourself? Would you not value your time and all other energies and resources? When you value something, let's say if you were here, I would put you in a line and I'd get you to do an experiment. Okay, so the experiment is there's 4 of you in the line and I would give a piece of coal, you know, black coal that you burn. Yeah. So I would give you a piece of coal and I would ask you to pass that on to the next person. Let's say it's a burning piece of coal. What will you do? Will you hold on to it? What will you do? You'll like just, you'll just throw it to the next person, right? Okay, put the coal down. Okay, now I give you a diamond. What will you do with the diamond? Wow, so beautiful. And you want to spend so long admiring it. And also you will hold it so carefully that it doesn't fall, it doesn't break. It's so precious, right? So this is the thing. When you value something, you take care of it. And so I'm asking you to really value yourself. Value your mind, value your thoughts. Don't think too much. Create few thoughts, but powerful thoughts. Value your heart. We all know that, you know, every time that heart is pumping away, if it pumps too much and too fast, yeah, you could have a heart attack. So we don't want to take stress from these things. We want to manage our heart. We want to manage the soul, manage the heart. Then we just want to be appreciative. So that is, you know, gratitude. We just want to be appreciative of everything that's around us. And when we do that, then more things, more good things come to us because we're focusing on the good. Right? And it is a fine art, really. It's a fine art of when to engage and when to detach, really. But what I'm trying to say to you is you can engage, but without any expectation. Engage without wanting anything back. Just try that, okay? Try that, well, it's your nighttime now, but try that tomorrow. If somebody opens the door for you, what do you expect? You at least expect a smile, right? Even if they don't say thank you, you at least expect a smile. And then what if they didn't even acknowledge you? How do you start to feel now? You say, am I your slave? Can you not see I opened the door for you? Yeah, how quickly we did this great deed, right? We did this great deed of opening the door. So like a king, we opened the door. But then they didn't acknowledge, they didn't thank. And now in the next moment, how do I feel? Oh, poor me. I'm a slave, or I'm nothing, or nobody loves me, or, we get into these victim thoughts. Who's doing that to ourselves? We, only we. So this is what I'm saying. Drama is happening, but I'm the master of that with the thoughts I create. Okay, so I'd like us to do a meditation now. I think it's meditation now, right?
Yes, sister. Just before that, just to let you know, we are about 400 participants approximately who have joined to watch your program. And it's really nice. And there's so much, I think, that we can take back. I like the aha moment the most. And it really, I think it gives each one of us a lot to ponder, a lot to think. So before the meditation, sister, actually, it's a Q&A session. Would you, we do the Q&A first, is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we will go into the meditation experience. That's towards the end. So yes, so Q&A, okay. Sorry, Q&A, I have a question here for you. When we become detached, people have a wrong idea. Sometimes they're being arrogant. Sometimes they think you're being arrogant. And it is sometimes wrong from my side, to make it feel like that. What do I do?
It's wrong. Okay, so what am I doing wrong, basically, right? That's the question. What am I doing
Yes,
wrong?
what am I doing wrong? Because when you show them you're detached, they think you're pretty cold, as you mentioned, the cold feeling. So how do we handle that?
Yeah, sure. See, the thing is, what we have been taught and what I'm trying to practice is when we have good and pure feelings from inside, then that person can only pick up that, right? Like, for example, we say, when you squeeze an orange, what do you get? You get orange juice, right? If you squeeze an apple, what do you get? You get apple juice. So when I'm being squeezed in a certain situation, what is going to come out is only that which is inside of me. So in those moments, if I'm trying to be detached, but in a very, in a brutal way or in a very aggressive way, then yes, there's probably a little bit of aggressiveness in me, which is why that's coming out. So again, everything is going back to understanding. I need to understand that, I need to put myself in this person's shoes. If somebody was trying to be detached with me, how would I want them to be? I'd want them to be gentle. I'd want them to be kind. I'd want them to actually guide me. And so you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. But my main answer is we have to keep and ensure that the feelings we have inside are very pure and very clean. And then that's the vibration the other person, catches. They're not going to catch the vibration she doesn't care. They'll catch the vibration she does care, and she really is telling me for my own benefit, or she's doing this for my own benefit. Is that okay?
Yes, sister. But there's another question which is actually very related to the same question, but in BK context. They say that we are all connected as a family, and we are born by this ocean of love. But sometimes it is among the Brahmin family itself. Many seem to be cold, like the same thing as what I mentioned earlier. And if we use that word, so even those who we have been in this knowledge for so many years, They've been in this knowledge for so many years, but yet sometimes you feel you get a very cold feeling from them. And why is this? Again, does it go back to, as what you mentioned, looking into yourself? It's like what's inside of you.
Well, everybody is in process, and it doesn't mean that if you're a Brahma Kumar or Brahma Kumari that you're perfect. This is another thing, isn't it? People have very high expectations of yogis. So everybody is in process. Maybe you caught them in a moment where they were processing something, reflecting on something. I think everybody does try to be as nice as possible, but sometimes we're so overwhelmed with everything that the delivery isn't as we expected. So then you can say, you see, this is another whole thing. Like, if anybody wants, you can download my conflict resolution book from the blog. And in that, there are many tips and tools on how to communicate and how to put across your feelings, that this is how you feel in this situation. And most of the time it is, also our own imagination. Like, we are reading into things, and we have to stop doing that also. As I said earlier, we don't know the story. We think we know. So again, we set ourselves up for disappointment. So I always say, if you don't mind, it doesn't matter. So try not to mind, and it won't matter. And then you move on. Then you don't get hurt. And then it doesn't expand. But obviously you're minding, which means it matters. And so then you have to do something about it. So communicate it, or in some way or shape or form.
So basically, it all depends again on our expectation. We're having too much expectation, I believe, from the other person. Can you hear me?
No, what I'm saying is, okay, that person may be going through something. I'm not saying that it's always our expectation. Yes, that person might be guilty of not giving me that attention. But what I'm saying is, in that moment, I also have to be understanding,
right,
and compassionate, and say, okay, maybe, give them the benefit of the doubt, that maybe they're going through something, and let me give them some space. And nobody's perfect.
Right. And what is the subtle difference? They asked about, that question went off. Sorry, about attachment. Sorry, let me get that again. What is the subtle difference between not being attached and emotional detachment?
Not being attached and emotional.
Yeah, I think that diagram of yours explained that, but I think they need more elaboration. Maybe you want to
see. Well, you can read into emotional detachment in a few ways, right? One is that you've mastered your emotion. That's why you're emotionally detached. Or you can read into emotional detachment as you're getting emotional, right? And that's why you're detaching. Got it?
Yes.
So it depends how you're reading into the statement. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to keep our peace and happiness. That's why we want to be able to manage our emotions. And so one of the key factors in managing our emotions is a sense of detachment. I hope
Agreed. Yeah. I hope that satisfies the answer. And sister, there's a question here. If my intentions are right, but the outcome that comes keeps going against me. I started with good intentions, but it's just going against me. So although I keep telling myself, maybe this is karma, but is it continuing that way? And how long would it continue? So what should I do, basically? My intentions are right.
Again, the key is understanding. So yes, my intentions are good, and I set out to do good. But the thing is, we don't know, as you said, we don't know what is our past karma. So maybe the previous karma was not with good intention, no? And so that's come now to be settled. The thing is, we don't know. We don't know if this is current karma or old karma. But the thing is, I always say we need the strength to deal with it. And this is why we do meditation. We don't actually have to go into the nitty-gritty of which time did I do this and how has this come up. No. But now I have to face it, and now it has come to be settled. And so let me have the power to deal with that.
Sister, there's a very interesting question. Somebody asked, Sister G, they refer to you. It feels as though you have mastered the art of detachment. You look so light and mean so cheerful, and you're so light. So what is the secret recipe?
No, I wouldn't. I'm still also work in process. All I can say is I love to learn. I love to study this knowledge of Raj Yoga. In fact, I enjoyed a couple of hours today reflecting on this subject. So I do it for me. You know, I'm not doing it. I'm not preparing it for you. But as I'm learning, there are aha moments for me as well. And so you just keep learning and growing and being honest. See, I'm very honest with my feelings. And so if there is a certain feeling that I don't like, I tell myself that. And then I turn it around. Maybe I'll share this with you. Okay, so basically, say I am feeling something that's not good. Say I am getting frustrated. And then I say to myself, okay, Aruna, it looks like you're getting frustrated. How can we turn this around? So then I say to myself, well, there's a lot of energy here. This energy is trying to show you something. Okay, how can we channel this energy? And then I say, yes, I'm frustrated because this could be better. This could be like this. So I say, okay, then do that. Put your energy to putting it right. And this is all going on in my head while I'm still keeping cool outside, right? But inside, maybe there's some thoughts. And so then when I come into action, I say, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to benefit this situation the most? Or how am I going to be able to help this person the most? It's not if I shout at them. It's not if I tell them off. But okay, let me try and get them to see it this way. And so that's what I'm saying. You need this knowledge, this very precious Raj Yoga knowledge that really helps you to see what's going on. And then you turn those energies around in your favor to work for you. So you're benefiting and the person is benefiting. And as I said before, you don't damage the relationship. So you're both growing at the same time.
Right, sister. In the current times, this is the next question. In the current times, there's so much of upheaval. As you understand, with all the current situation, lives are being lost. And sometimes it's multiple losses in a family, one after the other, looking at the current situation. So sometimes they say that, now how can you be detached, especially from loved ones that you are so closely related to, and staying emotionally detached? I mean, it sounds easier than, it's easier said than done. So that's how they feel, that how do we create that, especially when we lose so many or, multiple at a time.
Okay, so let's put it this way. Okay, do I want to be attached and take sorrow? Or do I want to be detached and be happy? I think this is something we have to ask ourselves. So you're allowed to get attached. Then you see the outcome. And then you detach. But as I said, this non-attachment, right? Not detach as in, oh, I don't care. But this non-attachment where also the thing with detached means it's because I was attached that I'm detaching, you see? But the non-attachment is implying that naturally you've understood and you don't have to attach or detach, right? This is the non-attachment stage, which, as we say, let's say the emotional detachment, because it's all to do with our feelings and emotions. So what I'm saying is we have learned that by getting attached, we experience pain and sorrow. And I don't want to experience that anymore. And so this is why I choose to practice a certain level of non-attachment, because then I can help. Then I can be in a powerful state to help those around me. But if I, you know what they say, like if the doctor is now working on the patient and he sees the wound and then he starts crying, how is he going to be able to operate? And will you have trust in him? Will you have trust in him that he could do a good job? So then you say, no, I want another doctor who can manage his emotions. So this is the point. When we are managing ourselves, that means we're managing our emotions.
Really good, sister. So this is basically then down to trust, how much you trust your instincts, yourself, how emotionally strong you can get. But sometimes some people in such situations, they lose hope completely. They say, there's no purpose of me living. You see, then what do? They go into wrong actions. They go into the other extreme.
Yeah, but that's because they're so attached that they think their life was all for that. But they have their own life, and they have a life outside of that person or outside of that job or outside of that situation. Like there is another life. But we get so engrossed and entrenched in that thing that we become one and the same. Actually, this is what attachment does. Attachment really kills. Attachment kills the soul. In other words, attachment does not allow the soul to breathe. And so in that state of attachment with anything, anybody or anything, even my job, even my position, my label, whatever, my credentials, my awards, anything, as soon as I'm attached, then there will be a certain amount of sorrow. Okay, let me give you an example. So say, Dimple, say you bought yourself a new BMW, okay? And you parked it in front of your house. And now you are so happy with your new BMW because you worked hard for it. And you said to yourself, I deserve this, and it's mine, mine, okay? Okay, then some kid is walking and he just happens to, whatever, hit his bag and breaks the light, or just something happens to the car. What will happen to you? Because you're so attached to the car. You will experience the same pain that the car experienced, right? And that's because of our attachment. But if I have the car and I say, great, wonderful. In fact, there is somebody here who got themselves a new BMW, all the perks and everything. And then they lent it to somebody and they took it to the desert. And of course, in the desert, the roads are not straight. It's not meant for this kind of a car. And so a few things got damaged. But luckily, she's practicing Raj Yoga and she was quite calm and cool about it. So this is the thing. When I'm attached to something, I do end up taking pain and sorrow. And so what I'm saying is we want to refrain ourselves from taking that pain and sorrow.
Right, sister. Really, really very. But somebody here is asking, okay, we have to stay detached. We have to not connect our emotions. In short, would you be able to give us some steps, some key steps on how to go about it? A step-by-step procedure of how to get detached. This could be, like COVID, the current situation, somebody is fighting cancer or some sickness. So give us a practical step of how do we stay detached.
Well, it will depend from situation to situation, and it will depend on the person and how they react and how they respond and what they want and what they need and all that. So it depend on all of that. But let's say, for example, let's say a family member is ill or sick. I mean, I don't really want to talk about COVID because we don't know what's COVID, and doesn't mean every COVID person dies. So I don't really want to go there. But let's say, for example, somebody is severely ill. So then what can you do in that moment? What you do in that moment is you use the knowledge of the soul. So I say to myself, I'm a soul and they're a soul. Okay. And then I say to myself, well, and every soul has their different accounts. And we don't know what is their account. But we do know from this Raj Yoga meditation, we do know that we are here now to settle all our accounts. So this person is settling their account. So they may look sick, but to us, the soul is settling its account. So I should be happy that they're settling their account. You see? But if I'm just looking with these two eyes, then I will see a sick person. But if I look with the third eye, then I will say, great, this soul is becoming pure. This soul is becoming lighter. This soul is becoming more perfect. And so then I'm able to have respect, and also I'm able to give them good wishes without taking any iota of sorrow from that situation. You see? Okay, let's take other like little practical examples. Like,
Yes,
let's say,
sister, I think it's time that we stop the Q&A session here. And I think it's what you said, live commentary, a practical example. I think we all would benefit from that. So we would, we would advise, somebody asked over here, how do we sit for meditation? Do we have to sit on the floor? Do we have to sit cross-legged? So maybe you can guide us through the commentary process, and you can take it on from here. Thank you, sister.
thank you. Okay. So just sit comfortably, however you're sitting, but try not to hold on to anything. Just relax the hands. Just relax your whole body. Just sit into the seat. Yeah, sit comfortably. And if you've got a focal point in front of you, if you like, you can focus on this light behind me. Or if you've got some flowers in front of you, you can focus on that. But basically, we practice with open eyes because basically we live our lives with open eyes. So we want to be able to master ourselves whilst we are aware. Okay, so that's why I'm going to just focus on this point. And then I want to actually take you out of the pull of this world. But before that, I would like you to just observe. I'd just like you to observe your life and all the people that you are connected with. So all your family, relatives, all the distant relatives. And then all the things that you have to do for them. Perhaps you have to pay the bills. Perhaps you have to cook the food. Perhaps you have to give them a call to see how they are. All your commitments, all your duties, all your obligations. And just see how busy this keeps you. And so now you're going to say to yourself that just for a few moments, I want to step away from this web of connections, this web of my karma. And I just want to feel freedom and lightness. So we're just going to go up just a few meters and look down at this scene, look down at this body. So with your imagination, I would like you to just transcend your room, your space, And I would like you to look down at your body, just sitting there very quietly, very peacefully. But you're still able to see and hear what's going on. And now we pull ourselves away even more. And now I can see, but I cannot hear anything. And I pull myself even further away from the pull of gravity of this world. And I fly upwards to my home of silence. And now I cannot see anything, I cannot hear anything of that world. Here in my home of silence, I feel free. I can be myself. My duty is to myself. Here in this home of silence, I get to truly look at myself. And I realize that I'm so full inside. But down below, I just didn't have time to see. I'm so full of all the virtues and powers. And my heart is so clean. And my heart is so big. And I just have good wishes and pure feelings for everyone. I just allow people to be. I accept each and everyone. And as I turn around, I see in the distance God. I see that light, God's light. And I just absorb the rays of light, the rays of love. And I just charge the soul. And now I'm feeling so full. I can feel that God knows me. God knows me completely. And I can feel that God has a special role for me to play. And so when I go back to that world, I'm going to shine my light onto everyone. I'm going to shine God's light on everyone. So when you're ready, I'd like you to slowly start your return journey back to the world. Back through gravity. Back to your space. Back to your seat. And back to the center of the forehead, where I'm now looking out through these eyes. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Really, it was a very, very empowering experience. Thank you so much, sister, and for gratitude and to share, some insight. I would like to invite Sister Meera to say a few words. Sister Meera.
Shanti, welcome Aruna to Malaysia and Asia. Actually, it is not just Malaysia here. I think many souls from different parts of Asia and even beyond Asia is also in this gathering. And I'm sure each and every one of us have enjoyed very much your experience and your explanation. And I know Aruna for a long, long time. And I know that she is expert in churning knowledge, writing, relating, and giving experience to souls. So she has been to Malaysia ARC once. So hopefully when the COVID time is over, you can come back again to serve the Asians. So on behalf of all the brothers and sisters from Asia and any other countries who have joined here tonight, so I would like to say many, many thanks for your valuable time that you have given for us. And I'm sure each one is taking back some homework to do to make their own life as valuable as diamond and inspire others also. So thank you so much, Aruna Ben. And
Thank you.
Lots of yad pyar to all the brothers and sisters in Kuwait. So, one of the speciality of Aruna Ben is that even though she is born Gujarati, but she have had the courage to serve Arab community since she has stepped into the Middle East. Service of Arab community has increased a lot. And so special congratulations for taking the initiative to bring all souls close to God. So good luck and all the best for the future. Om Shanti.
We have a good team. It's not just me. We have a good team here and we get on well, and so that's good. Yep. Thank you, Meera so much. It was lovely to be with all of you.
Yes.
Would you like to say a few words about emotional detachment?
You want me to say? I think you have said it all. So in one word, I understood today that non-attachment is emotional detachment. In one word. Non-attachment is spiritual detachment or emotional detachment.
Yeah.
That says all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Sister Meera. Thank you so much. There is on the chat here somebody from Turkey greeting Om Shanti 3 times to you, sister. And also, I think due to certain time constraints, we may not have been able to take all the questions. So if there are any questions unanswered, please we can take it on to the next show, or they can leave it in the comment once we go on YouTube or on Facebook Live, and we'll try to get back to you. And I would just like to make some announcements of our next upcoming program. So our next program, I think we'll put up the poster, is Taming the Three Dragons. This looks very interesting. The poster is up for you. So our three dragons that are within us, they're talking about fear, doubt, and worry. And this is by Professor Dr. Muralidharan and Mr. Jean Koch. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. So this is our upcoming program on the 10th of August, time 7:30 p.m. to 9:15. So thank you, sister. Thank you, Sister Meera, Sister Aruna. It was such a wonderful thing to have all of you, such wonderful people, and looking forward to your future participation in our next BK Sustenance Program. So we have this every first week Thursday. And so, it will be really nice. Thank you, sister. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to.
One song? We finished with
yes,
one
we'll
song?
finish with the song. Yes, thank you, sister.
Thank you for your inspiration, for your life and love. Thank you for your recognition of the one above. Thank you for your sweet compassion, for your life of truth. Thank you for walking on this earth. Thank you for being you. The river flows back to the ocean. The trees turn back to dust. The sun must set as the day ends, and so shall all of us. The gift of silence is returned to each one soul by soul. I know you hold it in your heart as you watch your life unfold. So go to the sea, flow to the ocean, fly like a bird to his arms. Take all the love of all who will miss you, but know we are never apart.
Om Shanti. So keep yourself safe, healthy, and happy. Good night. Thank you, Aruna Ben. See you again next time.
Thank you, Miraben. Om Shanti. Thank you, Dimple Ben, as well.
Thank
And
you, Sister. Om
Thank
Shanti.
you. Thank you to everyone. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.